Assalamu alaikum students, hope you're doing really great over there. My name is Miss Mavish and I'm going to take your lecture of English. Today we are going to start our new lesson number 5, collecting things. So before starting the reading, we will discuss few difficult words that we will discuss in our reading. The few words are antique, mean old items, countryside, rural land, attain, get, to get anything, influence, affected, preserve, to keep safe for a long time. These difficult words we will discuss in our reading. So let's start our reading class. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start the reading of year number 5, collecting things. So let's start. Have you ever thought about making a collection of something? Collecting has always been a pleasant time for the millions of children all over the world. The world is so full of interesting things that quite often children, adults too, become interested in collecting things. Student, in this paragraph, the writer is saying that everyone is interested to collect different type of things. Collecting things is a favorite hobby of the children and adult too. What kind of things do people collect? The question is over here, which type of the things students, adult can collect? The answer is this: anything and everything. You can collect anything and everything. There is not a specific thing that need to be collected. There is no rule that says a particular kind of object must not be collected. So there is no particular thing that need to be collected. For example, we can collect stamps, coins, shell, butterfly hats, feathers, leaves, stones, matchbox, antique plate, costumes, car, and many more. And 1001 and other things are collected by people in every corner of the world. Some people begin a collection as a hobby. The writer is saying over here is people used to collect different things as a hobby for the pastime, but in future they make it their profession too. It is an enjoyable way to spend a rainy afternoon or some free time. Quite often what starts off as a hobby or a pastime develop into more serious study or even a profession. So we are discussing over here which hobby become in future a profession. For example, who is interested in stamp may in adult life want to work with stamp. So one who collects old coin, the person who used to collect the old coins may later on become interested in history and archaeology, and collector of flowers may become botanist. How does a person start a collection? So the question over here is how any student or any person start their collection. How they can start their collection? This is not an easy question. For you people, it's not an easy question. It seems easy, but it's not an easy one. This is not an easy question. First of all, you have to decide what you are going to collect. The first thing that you have to decide that which thing you're gonna collect. You will, of course, influenced by number of things. In the end, you will want to collect something that you are interested in. Your decision will depend on whether the things you wish collect are available near you. For example, it is not use collecting seashell if you live miles away from the sea. Seldom visit the seaside and no one living the sea who might send you seashell. It is not use collecting flowers if you seldom visit a garden or the countryside. In this paragraph, the writer is saying that you need to collect those things that is easily available by your side. For example, if you want to collect the seashell, but it's quite impossible for you to collect seashell because the river, the sea is not nearer to your house. So collect those things which are near to you and which is easily available. Now let's move to the next paragraph. One of the reasons why stamp collecting was so popular. Student, over here the stamp collecting is popular, really popular. Why? The reason is here because stamp collecting easily obtained. Because like for example, when we're going to collect the flower, it's not easily available, seashell is not easily available. So that's why stamp collecting is popular, because it is easily obtained. Most people had friends in a distant very far places, who wrote letters for them. Quite often children become interested in writing to a pen friend, a person whom they had never met and who lived in a foreign country. Where an envelope with a colorful stamp arrived in the post, you might say, "What a lovely stamp! It's a pity to throw it away." The stamp then becomes the first in your collection. For example, the writer is saying over here, If somebody sent you a letter and the colorful stamp was pasted there, you need to collect it, and from that time your collection will be started. It is the start of the new and interesting hobby. So it become your hobby, but in future maybe it become your profession too. There are many ways of keeping a collection. Stamp may be put into an album, stones or bottle will have to kept in cabinets in the boxes. Flower can be pressed and pasted in the scrapbook. So in this paragraph, the writer is saying how we can save our things, our hobbies, our collection. So here he is discussing about preserving flower. Preserving means to keep safe for a long time. How we can save a plant or a flower for a very long time and leave. When you have picked up the sample, you want place in the sheet of the newspaper. What we need to do is we need to paste it on the newspaper. Place the newspaper, the sheet of the cardboard, hardboard on the top of the flower. Put another piece of the newspaper and another piece of hardboard. Put a new heavy book on top and it for a few days. If the flower of the leaves are juicy, you may need to change the newspaper. The flower will be ready to put into your album in about 2 weeks. So this is the bestest way to preserve flower or plant in an album. You need to use a newspaper simply to put the flower or the leaf on the newspaper, and when you think that and when you see it become juicy, change the newspaper, and you can preserve it more than 2 weeks as well. When the flower has been taken out of the press, place it on the clean paper. Fix it with the tiny drops of glue or with strips or gum paper. After dry the flower, what you gonna use it? You use a clean paper and fix it with a tiny glue and with the strips of gum paper. Paste the whole page in your album. In addition to putting samples of flower in your record book, you will have to make notes about the flower. For example, if you are going to collect the jasmine, you need to write each and everything about it, so it become more interesting for you. Collection is not just means you need to collect it as well. It means you need to collect it, you need to save it, you need to preserve it and write it in detail about it. It will enhance your knowledge about your collection and it will be more interesting for you. And they came from. Here is a page of the flower record book. So this is the sample. If you're gonna use the jasmine, you need to write the jasmine about each and everything about it. So now students, we are going to discuss the exercise and the question answers of the collecting things.